Hi, I'm Julie from Cultures for Health. Who doesn't love Greek yogurt? It's thick, it's rich, it's creamy, and it's delicious. Did you know you can make Greek yogurt at home for a fraction of the cost of what you can buy it for in the store? We have a wonderful Greek yogurt starter, and it's reusable. That means a small amount of each batch can be used to make the next batch. So you don't have to keep buying yogurt starter. You'll always have it on hand ready to go when you're ready to make Greek yogurt. So stick around, and today I'm going to show you how easy it is to make Greek yogurt at home. Okay, let's get started. Now, since this is a reusable culture, we will be using a small amount of yogurt that we have from a previous batch to make our yogurt today. So this would either be the mother culture that you activated with the packet you got in the mail, or just yogurt from a previous batch. So that's right here. Now what we want to do first and foremost is we need to heat up some milk. So I've put some milk in here, about a quart, and we've heated this milk to 160 degrees and allowed it to cool to 110 degrees. Now temperature on the high side for the 160 isn't an exact science. You can actually heat it higher than that. For example, some people like to heat their milk to 180 degrees and hold it at that temperature for 30 minutes. That tends to create a little bit thicker yogurt. But the minimum you want to heat this milk to is 160 degrees and then allow it to cool. If you're using raw milk, check out the instructions on our website or in the packet that came with your yogurt starter. There's a special set of instructions for how to make this with raw milk. But if you're using pasteurized milk, this is what you want to do. So thermometer is really important in this process. So you need a reliable thermometer. I like these digital thermometers because they're very easy to read. The dial thermometers work well too. You just have to look a little more closely at them. If you're really good at boiling over milk like I am, you might look at getting a barbecue type thermometer, the type that beep. You can set them for an alarm and they'll beep when they reach a certain temperature, so you don't accidentally heat your milk too high and have it boil over on your stove. Big mess to clean up. So what we've done for the sake of simplicity is we've already heated this milk to 160 and we've allowed it to cool to 110 degrees. You don't want it to be much hotter than that because it can actually damage the culture. And if it's much cooler than that, it's going to have a hard time maintaining the temperature once we get it into the yogurt maker. Okay, so we have this milk ready to go. So let's talk about yogurt makers. This is one style of yogurt maker that's available on the market. They have these lovely little individual glass jars. They're extremely convenient. You just make your yogurt right in the container it can be eaten out of. But there are others on the market too. There are the ones that have the big containers. There's even one that makes 2 quarts at a time. But you don't have to have a yogurt maker. They are convenient, but they're one of those single-use appliances that can take up space in our kitchen. So other options, anything that can maintain a temperature of 110 degrees consistently for several hours will generally work to make yogurt. For example, if you have like a crock pot or a slow cooker that can maintain that temperature, that can work. An oven that can be set to 110 degrees is an option. If you have a large food dehydrator, the cube type, the Excaliburs, the TSMs, those can work really well as well. So if you can be creative about this, you just need something that can maintain 110 degrees. Regardless of what you choose, be sure to double check that the temperature that you think it is at is really the temperature it's sitting at. Because with any appliance, the temperature can vary, sometimes 10 degrees in either direction. 10 degrees too cool, the bacteria won't develop properly for the yogurt and your yogurt won't set. 10 degrees too hot can actually kill the yogurt starter. So just double check your temperatures. These thermometers are very handy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get ready here. So our milk's sitting at 110 degrees and we're going to add our yogurt starter. Let's pull this thermometer out. Add our yogurt starter directly to this milk. Now this pan is a stainless steel pan, so it's non-reactive for yogurt. The other option would be something maybe enameled. I have like an enameled cast iron pan up here. I don't generally use this to make yogurt because it's very heavy and hard to pour into these little jars. So this tends to work a little bit better. But if you need to make a lot of yogurt, those pans are awesome. Okay, so we are going to make, there's about a quart of milk in here, and the ratio we're using is about 1.5 teaspoons of yogurt to a cup of milk. And so in this case, we'd be looking at about 6 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons. Good math lesson for your kids. So let's go ahead and get that in there. Okay, set that off to the side. And get our wooden spoon. You could use stainless steel if you want to. I just really like my wooden spoons. And just go ahead and stir this in. Now you want to be sure this is well mixed because you want the bacteria that's in the yogurt to be evenly distributed throughout the milk. Remember, the yogurt bacteria is going to feed on the sugar in the milk, the naturally occurring sugar. There's a sugar known as lactose in the milk. We didn't add any sugar to this. And so you want to make sure the bacteria are all going to get enough food and grow and set the yogurt properly. So you want to get them nice and mixed. Okay. All right. So the next step is to very carefully pour this into our yogurt making container. So hopefully I'm not about to spill this. Okay. There we go. Okay. Put our little lid on. The other thing I like about these yogurt makers is they have this little dial on the top, so you can set it to the day of the week that you, or the day of the month, I should say, that you made the yogurt, so you know how fresh your yogurt is. Convenient. You can just write on the top too. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and set this guy in the yogurt maker. You put the lid back on. Just follow the manufacturer's instructions. All of the yogurt makers work a little bit differently, so double check the temperature. Follow the manufacturer's instructions, and you should be fine. So we do have a container in here that has already cultured, because what we're looking at doing here is we're going to set this guy in here, and it's going to culture generally for about 5 to 7 hours and until it's set. Sometimes it can take a little less, sometimes a little bit more, but start checking in at about 5 hours. If it cultures for a little bit longer, closer to 7, that's fine too. Just be patient. Every batch generally takes a little bit different time. It depends on how your yogurt maker is operating, the ambient temperature in the room, the milk you used. This is working with live bacteria, so there's a little bit of variation. So this guy's been sitting about 7 hours, and so we're going to go ahead and check him. So if you take a look, if we tip the jar here, we have solid yogurt. So this is what yogurt looks like when it's set. So there's a couple of ways to tell. When you tip the jar, it definitely should be thicker than milk. It shouldn't be running up, over, and out of the jar. Sometimes it will pull away from the side of the jar as a single mass. This one isn't doing it. It's very set. And so it's pretty solid sitting in there right now. But you definitely want it to be a solid single mass. When you stir it, it'll be a little less thick. So that's how you do it. So pretty easy. Now once these come out of the yogurt maker, you generally will want to let them cool for an hour or two, so you're not putting something hot in your refrigerator. And then go ahead and put the yogurt in the refrigerator for at least 6 hours before you eat it or use it for another project. You want to stop the bacteria from multiplying, so halt that process. So it's important for keeping your yogurt starter healthy. Now keep in mind that since this is a reusable yogurt starter, you're going to want to save a little bit of this batch you just made to make your next batch. So if you're planning on doing something like flavoring, adding honey or sugar or maple syrup is very good, or fruit or something, you want to take a little bit of yogurt out, set it aside to use to make the next batch. So you generally need about 2 tablespoons per quart of yogurt you plan to make the next time. But otherwise, that's it. That's how easy it is to make yogurt at home. So, and keep in mind, yogurt's not the only thing you can make at home that can save you a lot of money at the grocery store. Things like sourdough bread, sauerkraut, kombucha can all be made at home as well for a fraction of the cost of what you can buy them for in the store. So check out our website at culturesforhealth.com. We have lots of how-to articles, videos, recipes, and support there for you to check out and connect with others who are making cultured and fermented foods at home. So I'm Julie from Cultures for Health. Thanks for joining us, and remember, where healthy food starts.